Good morning to all. This is yet another episode of WayCraft. Together we are. This is a podcast where the achievements, personification, all the adjectives take the second stage, and the person who belongs to those achievements take the front stage. This is a journey which we want to invest and record for the future generation to see how people took the journey rather than what they have achieved. There will be a lot of milestones. We will cover those milestones also, but those are not the destination. So, what what is so important about Waycraft is the guest and their journey towards insight. So today we have a very special guest, very dear friend, my lovely sister, Coach Venky. Her name is Venkateshwari. Okay, I'll give a world-known introduction. She is a seafood leadership coach. She is also a drama, I would probably say theater artist plus script writer. We have a common there. In addition to that, she has got a varied interest which I will take you through during the course of uh, this session. One of the key things that I want to start by mentioning Venkateshwari, Venky, is that 9th of October, she submitted Everest Base Camp. She says EBC. Okay. And as soon as she finished and we are part of PSA. And that's when I met Venkateshwari for the first ever time. And she was talking about Everest. She was talking about, the thing, at that particular meeting, it was a different meeting, but a little bit of an inspiration came into the resilience, the strength that she has inside her. Then we started talking, we started exploring each other's expertise. I found out that she has layers and layers of achievement. When I say achievement, it is like winning her own inhibitions, her own set guidelines. And that's where I felt that she'll be one of the perfect guests for the craft together. Yeah. With that, Venkateshwari, Venky, thank you for accepting the opportunity. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Satish, for this wonderful introduction. And I really liked when you said that she has many milestones, and many of those milestones was winning her own self or pushing her own limits. And I think such a lovely way to look at that. Thank you so much.
Right. So, generally, Venki, there is no format. Okay.
Okay.
So, this podcast was created basically for that. Okay.
Okay.
So, just like how you and me are straight away jumping into a call and doing the recording, that's how it is. So, there is no right answer, there is no wrong answer, there will not be any edits. Okay. So, it will be exactly like how we are talking.
Sure.
Yeah, that's how the world will also see. No need for marketing anything because the best marketing agent for a human body is our own mind. So as long as we are there, we are still there. So
Absolutely.
with that, like I would like to start with your journey. Like how Venki started to be a Venki as of today. Take us, maybe next five
I
ten
like
minutes.
that. How did I start to how I am today? Um, so if I look back, I want to take you to where I was, and this should be about 24 years from now. This was about 2002. That's when I realized that while I was very smart, intelligent, and that was the first time I joined work. I was working with Vodafone. It was called Orange then. I started seeing a difference in who I am as a person and the others. And when I say that, I found that I was very emotionally regulated. Small things could impact me. Anything difficult can cause a can seem like a huge issue. Even the smallest of things can make seem like a mountain. uh, and I realized that it was not my uh, sudden innate ability to make a mountain out of a molehill, but strangely there was something very clear that I was emotionally regulated. And but I didn't realize it then. I was good at work. I was always the best performer. I had won many awards, but and I was getting promotion after promotion. But there was a point in time later, I realized that I had to work on this part of me, but I never got to until the last few years. Then I got married, had kids, and life happens. You are in you're trying to fit into a family, especially for a woman, and that was the time when I had to take a career break for about just a year. I can't tell you that year was the most difficult year for me because I had a loss of identity working for an MNC, getting a huge pay package, getting into your bank account the first of the month, and every weekend you're splurging it at malls, and then there is a sudden reality that hits you that, oh my God, what is my identity? I turned an entrepreneur then, but again, the entrepreneurship was a great success. Everything that I did was always a success. But somewhere, that entire thing was driven by the fact that I wanted to be high functioning. I used to be very hard on myself to be extremely high functioning. And if you ask me from then on to now, what has completely changed is that I am also high functioning now, but I do it with absolute ease. So and in that middle, what happened from the space of why am I like this? Why is everything so different with me? And by then, I was also diagnosed as clinically depressed. This was about 10 years ago. And there was always a constant voice which told me terrible things about me. And I think I had let it grow so much that it had overridden my own voice.
Perfect. I will stop you there because that is a part which I really want to dig deep.
Sure.
Because that, according to me, when I think of Venki, if you have to write your biography or something, I'm not sure how many awards that you have won. I'm not sure how many awards you are going to win. But according to me, maybe because of my profession, according to me, that victory over your depression is the biggest Nobel Prize that you can give it
I,
to
I, I,
yourself.
s- I so agree to this,
Yeah,
Satish.
so
I
we
so
will
agree
come
to
into
this.
that because
Of
I
course.
I want to talk that in detail also because I want everybody to who is actually seeing this. That's the reason why we say that this called together we are. That's something
Yeah.
which even when my team says that let's keep it as WayCraft show, I said nothing doing even if it is big. I want the word together in that. So uh, before that, let me take you back to your own story about Vodafone or Orange by that
Yeah.
period. Okay. Um, was you told about the MNC culture, etc. But I'm sure growing up or probably that MNC during the 24, 25 years period time, like that's when that MNC culture started coming to India, if I
Mm.
am right. Probably another five, because you were in Mumbai, so maybe Mumbai got the first entry. Okay.
Correct.
I'm from Madurai. I'm not sure if, even if it is Chennai, 25, 30 years before, do we have that kind of an MNC culture here? I'm not sure here.
Sure.
So,
Mm.
how did you manage that? If at all there was a cultural difference, if at all there was a
You-
cultural difference.
Yeah, I think growing up in Bombay, Satish, is that you grow up very resilient. You are used to adapt. to things. I think my father moved to Bombay as a child labor. Then he set up his own business. Many businesses failed. Then he finally set up a good business. Today, he's my inspiration. So, what I learned from his journey and what I saw is a journey of courage and resilience. And that's what Bombay is. It's a city of dreams, it's a city of resilience. You see thousands of people, or maybe lakhs of people, taking the Mumbai local early morning. And that's how we went to college. The BEST bus, the bus service is called BEST, best. And We took that crowded, and that's how we went to school, college. And it the city's culture is such that it teaches you to be very resilient. And that is the Bombay part of me. That's what I got along with me even now that I'm in Chennai today. So, growing up in Bombay, when I moved to my first job from a college to a job, one thing that I see very clearly about the culture then was Vodafone, then Orange, Hutch, and Vodafone, when it had an amazing culture. Um, if you ask me, the professional in me is shaped by my 9.5 years in Vodafone, because it taught me discipline. It taught me how to be process oriented. I think that shift initially was difficult, but it was necessary at that moment. I had to go through that shift. And every time I say that I am like this, the discipline, the professionalism is because of my first job.
So
It shaped
every
me as a
time,
person.
at least while growing up, when I was thinking about, I come from similar background. So
Yeah.
English was my biggest enemy for the first time. When I want to come to Chennai and then uh, you know to even attend an interview or
Yeah.
something. Like English was my first ever challenge. I remember my cousin sister, her name is Ramya. She used to, in the night, she used to teach me, because the first question in every interview is like, tell me about yourself. Okay.
Mm.
It starts with, my name is Satish Sampath, and after that, I don't know what to say. I know what to say because if you ask me in Tamil, I can say. But beyond that, and that's the first inhibition that I have to win to even go for an interview. And then comes the rumors, like, oh, you're going for MNC, hire and fire. If you make one mistake also, they will just throw you on the street. Okay,
Yeah.
this is where my next question is. Now it is changed. Now it is changed because there is a lot of indigenization of MNCs, which is also there. It's called as multinational local incorporated corporation now. Uh, so at those times, how much of a room that you had for failure? Number one. Number
For
two,
fail,
yes, means as an organization, uh, we are human. We make mistakes.
of
We
course,
fail.
of
Okay.
course.
So one is not from the organization perspective, but from Venky's perspective. Did you give yourself a room to fail?
Yeah. At that time, I wasn't so reflective enough, but when I look back right now, Satish, that I think as a team lead, when I was given a team to handle, when I got promoted, I was getting promoted very fast because I was a top performer always. I think in a year and a half, I had a team of people reporting into me. I was a team coach, and then I became a team leader. I was handling a team. Uh, and I very clearly remember, I know that I was straight, but I had a severe blind spot. Now, when I moved out or later, I got to know that I was a terrifying team leader. I was extremely strict. People were paranoid when I was around. I don't know where I got that from. Of course, I thought I was very easy to talk, etc. But I think I was over disciplined. Used to be very, very, very strict with my team. Now, if I see that maybe that was the time that I had failed, because, of course, I understood people, their challenges, and I was a good people's person. When they were at work, I was too tough with people, which of course it changed in years. And I think we had room for failure, but I was one person. Maybe this was my coping mechanism to not fail. While we had all room for failure, we had great supportive people to work with. I never allowed me to. Maybe that was the reason I was a top performer. My team was top performing because I was always, and I think the reason I was strict is because I struggled um, leading a team at the initial start of my career, because within a year and a half I had a team, and I was young and my team members were maybe older than me also. I was struggling, and I feel that now I feel that yes, I had failed then, but that evolution is important to come where you are today.
Okay. So if today's coach Venky
Yeah.
has to coach Venkateshwari
Ah,
Vodafone, okay, what would you start with? If you are from today, you are the team leader of Orange. Orange, right? That's the name. So
yeah.
Orange. And then Coach Venky is calling Venkateshwari. Okay. Now how will you groom Venkateshwari as Coach Venky?
Yeah, if I had to coach her, maybe I'll ask her what is that she wants. But maybe if that coach, that Venkateshwari of Orange, wouldn't even know. So rather than being her coach, I may want to be her mentor.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I may want to tell her, talk to her about herself. I want to talk to her about how she takes care of herself. Because such a beautiful question. Thank you for asking, Satish. Because I think the only thing that girl Venki then was focused on was performing really well at work, doing well, earning well, ensuring that everybody around is happy, family is happy. I wasn't married then, but ensuring
And
that the parents say that I'm proud of you, that kind of a feeling that I always wanted. So I was very, very hard on myself. I want to tell that Venki that chill, relax, you deserve rest. Because if they said that anybody who wants to, we have some things to do, we need extra workforce, some team leader is off, we want somebody else to fill in. I think I will always be at work. I was forever at work. For me, my identity was just that. So I will tell her to just chill, relax, and tell her that is there. I will ask her, what is your identity outside of work?
make a hobby or something. Yeah.
Yeah, go, not even hobby, just take care of yourself. Go for a walk. Take care of yourself. Take care of your emotional well-being. Ask her that why does she feel always so emotionally dysregulated? Small things could put her off for many days. I will
Wow.
ask her to address it rather than just pushing through just work.
Uh, they generally say that, right? One for your brain and one for your heart. The heart is generally the hobby, painting or
Yeah,
this or whatever it is, and one for the brain is your career. So I was more intrigued when it comes to Girl Venki because uh, the productivity quotient of Girl Venki would have been the highest. Okay. But
yeah,
the emotional quotient of Girl Venki would have been probably not, I wouldn't say the lowest, but probably not in that good
correct.
mark.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So uh, with that as the input or with that as a benchmark, okay, um, how a person from your own perspective. Okay, you can take Girl Venki as reference or Coach Venki as reference. Okay, to
Mm,
have this one for brain and one for heart kind of a balance. Okay, either
mm.
is it a balance or probably now, as far as I'm concerned, I work in a different way. People find our own methods to adopt to it. But how important is to have this one for the brain and one for the heart?
Of course, I don't know whether it is one for the brain or the heart. I have never given it a thought. But good question. What I would say is that One is that if you are in a profession, even the profession, you have to give your heart and your head. Everything you do, you have to give your heart and head, is what I believe. But if you ask for anything specifically as a hobby uh, that I would tell that Venky to pursue, is that she was a great crafter. I'm still, I am. Once in a while that I craft. Maybe I passed that on to my elder son. So I would maybe pursue that. I do it when once in a while. And of course, for my heart today, what I do is I love running. I like swimming. Those are the things that I enjoy. Maybe because as a child also, I would never be outdoors. I was always the head kind of a person, always reading books. Of course, for the heart, I would do craft, but I was a very indoor person. I was the one to bunk PT period and sit in the library, or take a storybook, sneak into school and sit and do in the library, because I felt playing or doing PT, those exercises was hard. And life is reversed now. I enjoy those.
Yes.
So today, that's what I do for my heart. And for the head, of course, I study, I learn, I read so much. Yeah, so that's what I do.
So as far as
I hope
craft
I've
is
answered your
concerned,
question. Yeah.
yeah. There is no right answer, wrong answer. Like it's just a conversation. So as far as the craft is concerned, this actually takes me as my own inner journey. Craft is something which I'm very closely associated with. I paint, I do
Wow.
sculpting, I do pottery. My go-to for my stress relief is arts and crafts.
What is it that you don't do? I wonder.
That's another thing because where every time you uh, people fall down and then they get up. Okay, I keep falling down, and before I get up, I fall down again. So, which means you need to have that one, how to say, one hand which always takes you saying that, okay, it's okay. So sometimes
Mm,
it may be art, sometimes it may be movie, sometimes it may be this, sometimes. So
yeah.
if you go on survey people who have failed more, okay, you will actually see that they have multiple talents. The reason is that it's not about creating talents. It's about at least will we succeed in this or not. It's always all about alternatives. Okay, so this is not about me. It's about you. Now, but because you pushed me into this, so I'm going to ask you this: how much of a craft impact on you,
Yeah.
um,
That's a
and
very good
and
question.
and did your life went to the craft or the craft came into your life? When I mean, like, it's not about just activity, but I'm
Yeah.
talking about more into a behavioral personality character kind of
Very,
a thing.
very, very good question. And I really want to answer. I wanted to write a post on this long ago. I've not done it. Um, my mother, or during all the holidays, because we lived in Bombay and we are from down south in Tirunelveli, which is near Kanyakumari, we would go on holidays only once in 2 years during our summer holidays. But what my mother would do is that she would find people in the vicinity who are doing craft. She'll send me to them. She'll buy all those products. She'll say what is it required for this. She will send me to those. I can't tell you. And I know with beads I could actually make animals. Have you seen beads which are turned into
Yes,
animals? It was a
yes,
very, very old age
yeah,
craft.
yeah,
I have made that entire bag, and the kuda they make,
yeah,
no, that
yeah,
the kuda pindrathu.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm talking in Tamil, but that
No,
entire that kuda we
no
make,
restriction.
bag that we make with plastic. What is that called? These are stripes of plastic
Yes, yes,
woven.
yes.
So I've done that.
Yeah, they
I've
call that
done the
wire
whole thing.
kuda.
Wiregood, yeah, I've done that. And also, I mean, then making sweaters through wool, socks. I've made my own socks, and I think all of that. And my mother would insist that I do it. And there was a period, I think, everywhere women were doing a lot of craft.
Yes,
I don't know, is that declined? I'm wondering how. We would do it with. There were a lot of In stationery stores, you would get these things to make. So how has it shaped me, if you ask me, is I don't fear doing new things. And every time if I ask this question, that why does new things excite me and I jump it and I do it, is because, and I can create it, is because creation was never difficult, because I kept creating so many things during my holidays. I had something or the other put up somewhere in my house which was made by me, and I would always start what I finish. I will finish what I started, always. So all of those complete projects were proof that it gave me two beliefs. Okay, which is a good story and good belief to have. Is one, I'm a finisher. Two is that I love creating new things. So, and I think they both go very well, because some people get very excited about new starts and they may not finish, but I
Absolutely.
usually finish what I start.
Absolutely. And I remember because my mom used to do it. Uh, uh, I come from Madurai, so this wire kuda is something which I can very much relate to.
Yeah,
And it actually teaches a lot. There is a very limited availability, and you will have to make sure it is properly planned so that
yeah,
it has to be completed. I remember sometimes what happens is the project also fails, which means that you will have to remove everything.
and do it
One,
again.
yeah, you'll have to do it again. And
I've
in
done that.
modern science, we call super jargons for all those things. I think you are absolutely right. In those period, with very limited availability, women will actually know how to run the entire house itself. So I think, being a person who is always inclined towards craft, I'm sure, like some things, will have an impact indirectly, because I'm also a neuroscientist. So all
Yeah,
these things goes into it, what is the availability of resources that you have, and what can be done with that resource.
correct,
Instead of saying like, only if I have this, I will be able to do it. The
correct.
mind shift is like, I have this, what I can do with it.
Of course, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So with this, and we know about your college now, we know about your Vodafone now, and now comes to the part of the inner strength. Okay,
Yeah,
and this is something which I want to spend more time because
of
uh,
course.
this
I would
this
love to talk.
yeah this fascinates me every time I meet somebody who win their own belief and win themselves, saying that like, this is not me,
Yeah,
and I am different and I will achieve that. Okay.
absolutely.
So today you are Coach Venky. So
Hmm.
let's start with this. So during your inner worst period, okay.
Hmm.
So was there a Coach Venky for you, or it was like internally you started changing something, okay, and then now you are actually thinking that why should I start? Why did I even do it if I should have probably approached the coach there? So that's the second part of the question. The first thing is, how did it started? I don't want much details, but I want to know the journey, and I want to know the how did you cope up to make that fight?
Yeah, such an interesting thing. Even I wonder how, and let me tell you how. So this was exactly 10 years ago, and I think the voice, like I said, I had let a voice grow. When I was, even if I was in college, I was school, I was always the best student. I was the best performer. In Vodafone, I was the top performer, but I had severe imposter syndrome. Something in me said that because maybe while growing up, I grew up in lack. I grew up not, we weren't very financially well settled. So I think I always saw that I am I'm a very poor girl. I am different from others. Others are better than me.
Yes.
And I think there was this belief in me. And I went to a very normal government aided school in Bombay. So I felt that, oh my God. And people there, I mean, in school, government aided schools, we spoke in Hindi, not in English. So I said, oh, I thought, oh, I didn't go to convent. Uh, so all of those beliefs, I think they just became larger. And suddenly I felt I had taken a career break. I underwent a health
No,
emergency.
see, I want you to talk details. The thing is, when you said you heard a voice or something like that, like what, I'm sure you would
Yeah,
have
it's
not,
my inner voice. Yeah,
yeah,
it's an
yeah.
inner voice.
I'm sure you would have not caught it on day one. Okay, I'm
Yeah, yeah,
sure
of
it would have gone.
course.
Yeah,
I just let it grow. So what happens is that for anybody,
yes.
there is something always telling that you aren't worthy enough, you are not good enough, and somewhere it keeps questioning who you are. And if you let that voice slowly grow without addressing it, one day it will take over you.
Is there a red line which we should means keep aware of? When is that saying like, oh, this has crossed this? What is the red line?
That red line is, for me, was just shutting in a room and sitting and crying, saying nothing is working in my life. While there were evidences that things were okay, but I felt life was miserable. I would shut in my room. I couldn't come out of my room. With the moment if it disrupts your routine, you're not able to come back to your routine. And there is an emotion that completely takes over you. It drives you. It makes you sit and cry. It makes you call up 10 people to talk about how terrible your life is. If it takes over you such that it is not able to make you function normally, that means it's a red flag. You
Okay.
have to address it immediately.
Yes.
I let that also pass. I
Okay.
didn't even know that was a red flag. There was
Right.
one day that I had severely immense high pain, emotional pain.
Right.
And and that day I remember at that time I remember one of my ex bosses calling me, and strangely she had just called for no reason. She said I was looking for some resources for some work, and then she got talking about how amazing a resource was I. And uh, and I, that day, strangely, Satish, is that there was this glimmer of hope where I saw that I'm thinking that everybody is saying good things about me, but why is it I am not able to see anything good here? Why am I not able to? uh, that day I decided that I have to do something about it. And in this whole thing, due to depression, I had also I had by then reached out to a psychologist. I was called clinically depressed, but unfortunately, I think um, the psychologist wasn't of enough help in therapy. And I don't know what could be the reason, but I have come to a conclusion today. I don't know whether that is right or wrong. Is that you cannot take a client to a place where you have never yourself visited. If you have to be mentally, physically, if the client comes to you and says, I want to be here, the coach, the therapist, the counselor should have reached there. Else, you cannot understand what the client is even talking, where they want to go mentally. So I
Absolutely.
didn't get much of help, and but I decided to change it. Like I said, I put on weight. So I decided one day, that day, something had happened, and I said, enough. I'm changing my life. This is not my life. This is not my life. What was I? Where was I? Now, what had also happened that I had taken a career break for a year and a half. I had shrunk. I was shrinking myself because I had moved into Chennai. I was trying to fit into people or a community locally, where if I said, hey, I'm from Bombay, I work for an MNC. So I started shrinking to say that, hey, I'm also one of you, to get adjusted to local communities or people. And that was such a the biggest mistake that I did. I think people shouldn't shrink to accommodate anybody or anyone, and that also had a very big impact. Um, and uh, and that day when I decided to change my life, I called my friend and I said, hey, I want a fitness trainer. I got a trainer because every book I read, it said that you have to start, if you don't know where to begin, start with your body. And I said, I want to start with my body. I want to go back in shape. Then I decided I wanted to work on my inner strength. I googled everywhere. I googled for 2 3 days. I was taking notes. I was never like this. I was not a note taker. I was not a researcher. I would, like I said, I was a very productivity expert. I would just start something, do it, finish
Yeah.
it. I would never want to research on anything.
Yeah.
But this time I sat and researched. It said everywhere, it said two very clear things. One is that you are responsible for where you are, and you will be responsible for where you want to go to. And this I had heard in 2013 when I attended Inner Engineering by Sadhguru. I was attending when he was doing it in a MMRDA grounds in Bombay, Bandra, and it was 25,000 people, and he was doing it. It didn't get to me then because I was thinking, why am I responsible? The world is responsible.
Yeah.
People who are mean to me, they are responsible.
Yeah.
So that was a state where I was also thinking that I am also miserable, world is also miserable. I am not okay, world is not okay, which is such a difficult place to be. So that is
Yeah.
another big red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you feel I am also terrible, everybody around is terrible, now the world is dooming.
Yes.
Yeah. So the second, yeah, so coming back, the first point is you are responsible for everything in your life. Two is that you have to build a strong relationship with your own self, and that is what I did. And how do you build the strong relationship with yourself? It was a step by step process. Started taking care of me. I started taking care of my well being. I got back in shape. I was focusing on my nutrition because as a woman, you're only taking care of everybody at home. You're not taking care of yourself. So, doing that and also taking care. And in that whole journey, I think I had started falling in love with myself. I
Correct.
started looking at my own strengths, and that voice I realized was a voice of, it's a vicious voice of self pity. It will trick you into believing, even if you want to believe that you are good, it will keep saying you are bad. Now that voice doesn't exist only. I have eradicated that inner voice out of my system. So my natural voice now is that Venki, you are doing great, you're fine, you're absolutely good. So that voice to win over, you have to build a great relationship with yourself, and it is your prime responsibility in life to to maintain mental hygiene, to take care of your mental hygiene. When I mean mental hygiene is to be in a balanced state. That is your responsibility. And people, there will be triggers, there will be
Yes.
people, there will be situations that will keep arising, but it is your responsibility how you manage your mental hygiene and mental state. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. This is this is to me for this is exactly why I wanted you to come because many a times productivity, the word productivity is misused even today. It's productivity is like I don't care about you, but I care only about the result. Okay.
Yeah.
But the productivity only starts only if the inner self is happy or inner self is aware.
Yeah.
I will not even say happy. That's the extreme stage. Aware. Inner stage is aware. What I can do, what I am good at, and why I am doing it. Some clarity. And the
Correct.
second point which I really like is from the way that you actually explained, it's so emotional from where to where you have come.
Yeah.
And for people who are actually looking at it, I'm sure we should listen to this again and again. Venki also wrote a book called Exit the Spiral. Okay.
Yes.
She exit the spiral, and I think she has every right to write them. If
Absolutely.
if
Absolutely.
if somebody comes and asks, if you want to go and ask Venki saying like, how did you exit the spiral? That's the correct question. If you are going to go and ask her saying, can you explain me the concept of exit the spiral? She is not like the authors who take concept and write. No, she exited it. So
Yeah, I agree.
she is
Absolutely.
the one who exits the spiral, and she is sitting in front of me, super sister. And the next point, I wanted to go to the book, but you have explained the book already. But now I will ask this book question in a different way. Okay.
Sure.
Leaders. I think the C suit, the CXOs. Okay. According to me, everybody is a leader. Okay. Wherever it is, like even if women, let's say that housewife is the leader of the house. Okay.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
and let's say if my son is there, my son
Mm,
is the leader of the crowd. Everybody is a leader. And I go back saying that there is nobody called a leader, but
correct.
everybody is a leader. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, with that into perspective, okay, if you have to put your book, Exit the Spiral, okay,
Mm,
to your own life, okay,
mm,
where would you insert this book? Should Exit the Spiral be read by college Venky or Vodafone Venky or probably the first alarm, the red side, red alarm, or possibly somewhere else. I'm sure when you wrote the book, you want to insert it in somebody's life. I'm also an author, so we want to insert it in somebody's life at some point in time. Okay,
this book is for anybody. It is not an age group. It is for anybody who feels that they are stuck in life and nothing is working, and it takes you through a journey of how it is doable, and they are very practical, insightful ways of how to do it, and how I did it is what this book is about. If you ask me if I had to give this book to my own self, my past self, I would give it to the Venky sitting at that orange cubicle, being extremely high functioning. But I don't know whether she'll get it then, because she may think this is another she because she had never understood by then that there is something that she has to work on.
but it would have been inside her mind if she would have read it. Okay,
Yeah,
and when the time comes, automatically our brain will probably put it saying that
correct. Absolutely. To apply
and
it and lead a normal life and wouldn't have reached till here.
you are an example. I very hardly I get to meet people who bring quotations like this. Okay, you just say, oh, in this book she has said that. Oh, in this book he has said that. Something like that. Uh, that is an example where like you never took those books because you wanted something in life. You took those books because that was part of your regular training habit or regular reading habit. But
Yeah,
when the time comes, you will pull out the quotation,
of
automatically.
of
Okay.
course.
So the main point of exit the spiral, according to me, is insert it inside the system. Okay.
Mm,
So then when the time comes to exit the spiral, the system will already have an answer for it. So
absolutely. Very
you
good
don't
point.
you
Very
don't
good.
build a braking system only when you want to come and dash. It should
Correct.
be
Correct.
there so that when there should be a reason for putting the brake, it should be available for it. So
Mm.
the main question, the reason why I was actually asking it because I have completed it. I have asked my son to read the Exit the Spiral book because
Oh, wow. Thank
he is
you.
going to join the college now. I've given him some 11, 12 books, must read,
Wow.
all written by our friends and things like that. So the reason is because it's not going to be helpful for him today. Maybe, may not be helpful for him today.
Mm.
But when the need comes, okay,
Correct.
that is not the time where you have to go and
Yeah,
search for the
yeah.
book.
When your mind will say, automatically figure out which
Yeah,
folder
because
is stored in your head, it'll access that
Girl
folder,
Venki
pull it
took
out.
so many notes from Google. Okay. But if the exit spiral is there, those nodes are not needed.
Yeah, yeah, correct, correct. But having said that, in that journey that I was changing, there are few books which made a big
Absolutely.
impact in my
Absolutely.
life. Yeah,
Absolutely.
one important book is Louise Hay's Heal Your Life.
Yes.
Is a fantastic book.
Yeah.
Everybody must read. Then there was a book on building
There are
habits.
there are two editions of Louis Hayes. One is Heal Yourself. The second is
Yeah,
Heal Yours. There is two books. Both
yeah, and
are
Heal Your. I think
great.
later also Heal Your Health.
Yes.
She has something on Heal Your Health also.
Beautiful book.
Yeah. So, and then there is a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, because I was setting on this habits of working on building my habit of working out, etc. I wanted to be very diligent. So I that is a life changing book. Another book is how to building the courage to be disliked.
Yes.
I feel that the because of the self pity that I had for myself, where I felt that I wasn't so lovable, likable, I'm not good enough. I What happens immediately after that? You become a people pleaser. I
Yes.
was a people pleaser. I
Yes.
grew up as a people pleaser. I felt that to earn love, you have to please the world, which was so wrong. And I think this book helped me discover that the courage to be disliked. Today, I have built that courage to be disliked. And I've understood that there will be people who will not like you, and you're not here to win an award. You're here to live with a purpose and to live your life based on what you want to build. So,
Perfect. If
yeah,
your orange team member comes today,
yeah.
okay, and
Yes, they do.
sees
I got a
you,
message yesterday only. So, good
okay,
question. Go ahead.
and what will they tell this coach Venky?
I'll tell you what this person always tells me. She says that, oh my God, you are so different, and she says, you were so strict those days. Oh my God, the moment you enter, we would shiver, we would get scared, and the moment we would see you, we would say, oh my God, Venky is here. And
What will they
today,
miss? What will
huh?
they miss? Okay, this is interpretation. What will they miss?
What will they miss?
Yes,
Say that question again.
I'm saying like if your old colleague is coming and actually meeting you today, what will they miss from the?
Missing, yeah. I think they will not miss. They will enjoy the current me, who
No, I'm
understands.
saying what will they miss out of the old you?
Though they will miss. If they have to miss something in me, I think I've evolved. I carry some very good traits of the old parts, so I don't think that they'll miss anything. Maybe probably they'll see a change in the shift of how I'm very easily approachable
Hmm.
and easy to sit with, easy to have a conversation. Now, when they now send me messages, I mean, few people still do. They're in touch and they keep sending me messages. They say that, "Oh my God, how did you become this? How did you become so inspiring? We like what you're doing. We love what you're writing on LinkedIn. We love your book." So I keep getting these messages. So if they see me now, they'll see a very more warmer person, who's at ease, who's not very productivity driven, who's not always on the head, who's very mindfully present with them. I think that's what they will experience now.
Absolutely. And these are very important to be highly productive.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
exactly,
So
exactly.
whatever that you have said right now doesn't mean that your concentration on productivity has come down, but you are just setting up the stage for much more highly productive.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because Satish, when you're out of your head, yeah, because when all of that was going on, what happens is that you're overthinking. You're not able to take quick decisions. You're forever thinking, what happens, what is life, etc. Why is life like this? You are lost in why is it like this? Now when you come out of your head, and when I have turned around my depression, and I've like I said, that doesn't exist. I'm thinking about what next, what am I building, what am I doing, what am I going to do. I put up clear paths for
For that,
myself. And
how important is habit formation?
habit formation, habit formation is very important. But today, some people take it too hard on themselves.
Yes.
Of course, it is very important to wake up on the same time and to follow your body. Once you do that, the body gets adjusted to the clock. But um, some habits, when people talk about habit formation, I want them to also focus of some of the habits that they formed that they need to let go of,
Yes.
which will make space for the good habits to form, like just waking up in
What
the
is a
morning.
good habit? What is a bad habit?
Any habit which is not aligned to who you are and not aligned to what you want to do in the future is not good enough for you. I'm not saying that it's a bad habit. It's not good enough for you. You may want to choose to let it go. Yeah. And it's a choice that you will make. So you may have to figure out what is it that you want to let go of. Like there was a pattern that I followed for years, that I knew that if I get into my bedroom, I know there is one corner that corner meant to be sitting and crying. So that was a habit that I had formed. I
Yeah.
had to break those patterns.
Yeah.
These are some of the patterns that you need to let go of. These patterns are formed because of repeated behavior, and they had unconsciously become habits. So now,
Perfect.
while building new habits, it is very important that you have to build an environment which is conducive to the habit. For example, you want to run in the morning, ensure that everywhere around you are, if that is what is primarily you want to do, and that's you're very passionate about, and you want to build that habit, ensure that your environment is conducive. Which I mean, what I did when I wanted to start running, everywhere I had posters of women running. Even my laptop had a background of that. Every night I would see videos of women undergoing transformation and running, because I wanted to see that everywhere, in my environment, in my algorithm, in my on my social media platforms, everywhere. I want to see that. So so to build any habit, you ensure that and you have to also build an environment conducive to it. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And
Yeah.
and and if I can probably attach the habit to setting up a goal. Last time
Yeah.
when you and me spoke, I was saying like, even I want to go to EBC.
Yeah.
You know,
You can.
what should I do? So, okay, now since we have started talking about EBC, tell me from where it started, how it started, and how long was the training, and we have no idea what that is. So, just quick
EBC
3 minutes.
is not very difficult.
Okay.
EBC is easy to do. So I started trekking. Now, in this journey of building strength, where did it lead me? All that Google, of course, I spoke about building self care and self love, etc. I also realized one very important key thing is that when I was working out, whenever in the physical geography I was seeing myself and evidence of how I have pushed my limits. Maybe I ran another kilometer extra. I lifted more weights. I did an exercise which I just couldn't do it. When physically you see that you are pushing yourself, it also is setting a new self belief, saying, hey, I can do more.
Yes.
And it increases your mental endurance, also your mental resilience. So that's what I noticed. That, and I said, one of my friends were going for a trek. I went for one Himalayan trek, not knowing what a trek is, and there struggled, did the summit, and after coming back you feel, the first 2 days, I think every trekker will relate to it. Whenever you go for longer treks,
Yeah.
after the second day, you will always say, why did I come here? I should have been home.
Yeah.
But when you keep pushing yourself, reach the summit and come back, you feel, oh my God, what have I done? I thought that wasn't possible. I did it. So I realized a trek does that to me. And also, it just cuts you off from the routine. You are consciously focusing on the next step, so mindfully on the next step and the environment around. Because if this is loose stone, a loose mud, I can't keep my foot there. It may slip. I have to put my firm foot on a stone, on a firm ground. So this was so mindfully, keeping you engaged. I said, wow, this just cuts me off from everything. It's a great way to train my mind and build mental resilience. So I should do this. That's when I started doing it every year. And suddenly I said, I went once I went with this young group of people. I was in a trek 2 years ago. I was with these young people who were just 24-year-olds. I was the oldest. But honestly, I tell you, I enjoyed the trek. And they said we should do EBC. And I said, let's do it next year. They all agreed. Out of that, only two of us stayed till the end in that plan with me. And how do you practice for it? Of course, I have been working out the last 6 years, so it wasn't something that I had to suddenly do. But you should be able to run comfortably 10 kilometers because it is 15 days of long, long walks. You have to build good lower body strength. Of course, what additionally that I did along with my other practices was I worked on my breath. I did a lot of breath work. So I was doing pranayama with a yoga teacher for 3 months before I went, because oxygen is very low and you have to build good lung capacity. And after that, I also was focusing on my leg strength. I was running more often, during long, long walks, carrying for the last 1 month before the trek. I ensured that I was using a weighted vest, wearing it, wearing that vest, and then going on long walks, because that's what you do there. But any practice that you do is nowhere close to the real thing. When you go there and you will be like, oh my God, what did I sign up for? Of course, that happens. But this EBC trek experience is beautiful. And it is comfortable. I think it's not there aren't any technical parts. Everybody must do EBC. But the thing is that whenever I tell friends, they ask one question: who would pay so much to go and walk there? I would rather go to Europe, is what a
Yeah.
friend told me.
But that's two different things, right?
Yeah, those are two
That's
different.
two
Of
different
course,
things.
of course.
Yeah,
And I think for that, you have to believe that this is going to give you a experience of a lifetime,
absolutely,
and not just EBC. I think any trek, any Himalayan
absolutely.
trek, people must trek the Himalayas. I believe that I found my strength in the Himalayas, and I have a very close connection with it
Yes,
today. And having known so many mountains, I feel that is home. And if
absolutely.
I don't go every year for some reason to the Himalayas, I feel I haven't done something that year.
Beautifully said.
So everybody must trek, everyone must trek, and it will change lives. It is transformational. Any endurance sport is transformational, because the more you're enduring outside, you are telling inside that I have a mental ability to endure more, and that reflects in every area of your life. I remember before the first trek, I would always be little dependent on somebody dropping me at the airport, carrying my luggage in the train. Today, I see that as a trekker, you carry 8 kgs or 10 kgs for 10, I mean, so many days.
Yeah,
Yeah. And you can live, you have to live frugally. You just have two t-shirts, you don't take bath, you brush. In fact, on the Everest Base Camp summit day, we didn't even brush.
correct.
It was just ice everywhere. So when you go through all of these challenges, you learn to adjust more. You're easy with people, and when you meet a trekkers group, you will know that it is so easy to adapt, because they've seen it, they've been to treks, and it's so easy for them, even in normal life, to settle in any kind of emergencies, challenges. They can handle it. And that's when this has become addictive now for me.
That's perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
This okay. If you have to probably, let's say your son is going for a trek right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Will Trekker Venky talk or Mother Venky talk?
Both will talk.
Now, your first instinct.
uh, instinct is the mother Venki who will say that, hey, take care. Which trekking company are you going with? I may tell him to go with the trekking company that I always go through, which is India Hikes. So I think it's the mother that will kick in first. And as a trekker, I'm going to tell him to enjoy the experience. And I will tell him to prepare well. I'll tell you why preparation is well. Because if you don't prepare well, you will not enjoy the journey.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. With that reflection, I there is one routine 7 questions which I ask when we come to the end of this thing, because we are doing a long form research. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is called as uh, the human archive, which is
Okay.
basically we are asking the 7 questions to all age groups, in multiple countries, multiple culture, multiple profession, and then we are documenting and we are creating an archive of human interpretation based on their own experience and behavior.
Sure.
Okay. So the only rule is you have to answer it like bullet point because there is an
Okay.
AI agent which is taking notes here. So uh, it will actually take notes on what are all the things and we will create an archive cloud. You will understand
Sure.
what it is. Okay.
Sure.
So if you are ready, I'll start the question.
Absolutely.
Okay. Question number one. Who are you when nobody needs anything from you?
Nobody needs anything from me.
Yes. Who are
A
you?
kind, yeah, a kind soul.
Okay. So my question number two. What part of yourself do people benefit from the most? I repeat, what part of yourself do people benefit from the most, but rarely notice?
Rarely notice. The giver me.
Right.
I'm a very I have been generous giver. So and the kinder me. The generous me and the kinder me.
Absolutely. Okay. Question number three. What became stronger in you when life hurt you? Or what becomes stronger in you because life hurt you?
What became stronger in me is uh, the threshold to endure pain, which, but on hindsight, it shouldn't have been. I don't have to endure pain. Later, I think people have to immediately convert it to pain to power.
Into power.
So I think the power now.
Perfect. Okay. Question number four. What ordinary moment in life feels extraordinary to you?
When I sit with both my sons and we are just chatting of something that happened in the past when they were small, I think that's like bliss. That's extraordinary. And now that my son is home from the hostel, so we are doing that once in a while, so it feels extraordinary.
Perfect. Okay. My question number five. What silently disappeared from your life as you grew older?
Uh, I think nagging, people nagging. I think I've let go of um, of of some. As you grow, you have to also, you may outgrow few people. I think silently I've outgrown many people, and sometimes I feel that is absolutely okay. So I have left naysayers, naggers, um, yeah, negative, people who pull you down. All of that, I think I've just let. Automatically, it has gone away as I have grown.
Perfect. Okay. My sixth question. What
Yes,
kind of human connection do you think the world is starving for right now?
is starving for
Yeah. What is missing? What is world asking?
good, good
If
safe
Mother Nature
space.
is coming and asking us, what is yeah,
I think for human connection is a good safe space for people to talk. And many people don't understand what a safe space is. When someone comes, nobody wants advice, nobody wants how it should be done, nobody wants to know how you did it. Nobody wants to know that. When somebody has a challenge in life and they say, I want to talk, are you offering a safe space for them to just talk to you without any inhibitions of what the hell will you think about them?
yeah,
I think that's what human connection needs today. And there are very few spaces available for people. And that should be, I think, as every mother, I feel it's my responsibility to teach my children what are safe spaces. Yeah.
absolutely. And my last question in human archive is when everything is removed, when everything else is removed, okay, who are you? Everything else is removed. I have removed everything. Tell it. Okay.
Everything.
Yeah, everything. Who are you?
The image comes to me, and I'm going to answer it with an immediate instinct, is that of a child asking for apple from my father, saying, "Buy me apples. I want to eat because I saw it in a Vico Vajradanti ad on TV." That
Okay.
is me. That is the child.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. I have only maybe one question or two questions, and then we wrap up. Because this seven, because you are a coach, you will definitely know this seven questions actually evolve around our inner self. Our it's called as molding a personality. Okay.
Okay.
So w- indirectly, like what made Venky who Venky is. This keeps changing. Okay. Example, if I come and ask you tomorrow, it will change. If I come and ask you 2 years from now, it will change. If I come and ask you. So long form research is basically we ask the same question to same set of people, multiple years. Okay, we have been doing this for last 6 years, 3.5 years after Mesma started. So we actually plot their inner movement. Okay.
Mm.
So from where to where they are actually growing. So we generally you also use many things called maturity as life happens like that. Whenever you said maturity, what did you mean? So there needs to be a plot. So maybe after 15 years, we will not
Mm.
be using like just a word called maturity. We'll be actually speaking with index, with proper mentioning,
Okay.
and we will not
Right.
be saying in generic, like, when life happened, what happened. So
Got it.
yeah. So that being said, very important question. Maybe the last question is: you are coach. You are a certified, authorized professional coach. Okay.
Yes.
Um, how important is because I remember many people telling me also telling everybody that you need to have a coach, you need to have a mentor, and you need to have a one best friend, and your life is set. Okay.
Correct.
So again, give us why somebody needs a coach and who should we approach as who will be my best coach. And three very important point, what should a coach do and what should a coach should not do. One is from my perspective and another is from your perspective. So these three
Okay.
things.
Okay. Um, why do people need a coach? Is if you want a safe space where to talk, and you need, what happens is that in today's, when you are in a journey, of course life will teach you its lessons, and you will keep going ahead. But if you want to fasten that process of growth, I call myself the high performance amplifier. So if you want to fasten your growth path, it is so important to know who you are, what are your strengths, how can you leverage those, what are some of the patterns keep you stuck, uh, what troubles you, what pulls you down. A coach may be able to help you to see that. A coach may be able to will be able to be with you in that journey, and it can act as a catalyst to make it a faster journey for you. And that's why one needs a coach. And second is that, how does one select a coach, you asked, correct?
Yes,
You have to select a coach. One must understand that a coach is somebody who offers a safe space. When you meet a coach, usually a coach does a chemistry session. You must do it with them. You need to see how safe that space is. If anybody who has an instinct to fix you, to change the client, to tell the client that, hey, let me tell you how to do it, this is not what you do, this is what you do, I think that's the wrong approach to coaching. Coaching is accepting the client as they are, and letting the client be themselves. The client, give them the autonomy to choose where they want to be, but partner in their journey of where they want to be. So that is who a good coach is. And yes, you said that very rightly, that everybody should have a coach and a therapist. I have a coach, I have a therapist for myself. I undergo therapy and coaching every month, to keep myself neuro clean, because as a coach, it is my prime responsibility to work on myself also.
Yes,
So a good coach is one who also works on themselves, and it is some your prime responsibility. And like I said earlier also, if I haven't reached a certain place mentally, I cannot take my client there. It is
right,
impossible to take that.
right,
Some may argue that viewpoint, but I have a very strong belief there.
right.
Yes, so that's how. So, to
Third,
summarize,
third question is what coach should not do.
what a coach should not do. A coach should not try to fix anybody. If the moment the coach sees a client and they feel an urge to fix the client, to change things in the client, to make changes in the client's life, and if there is a sudden urge, and whatever the client is doing, if leaves an impact in them after the session, before the session, then it is very, very important for the client to undergo coaching themselves, therapy, or undergo coaching supervision.
Yes,
Because when you are with a client, your presence is absolutely important. And if your presence there is a lot of interference of what is happening to the client in the coaching conversation, and in you there is a transference in you, in your life, of what the client is feeling, then it may be a failure of the coaching relationship. So a coach should not feel the urge to fix anybody.
correct. Absolutely.
We are just
Perfect.
partners in the client's journey, and that can be achieved by a absolute mindful presence.
Perfect. I'm done with my questions. Your
Thank
closing,
you. Thank you.
your
They're such phenomenal questions. I love the 7 questions and the last few questions. So many interesting questions that you asked, Satish. This has
yeah,
been such
your
a
your closing comments.
yeah, thank you. My closing comments is that thank you for this absolutely amazing conversation that I had. And to anybody listening, to the audience, to the listeners, I want to say is that it is possible to change your life, and it starts with a choice. If you decide to change your life, it will change. So everything is a choice. Even currently, wherever you are living, whatever situation that you are in, it's a choice you have made. Maybe you have not looked at the choice, an alternate choice of changing your life. And if it is going to do good for you, and if you want to change, it's just a choice. The moment you shift that change and say, I want to change my life, you will automatically tune into the ways you can find way how to change it. Yeah. So that's what I want to close with. So everything is a
Perfect.
choice. Your life
Perfect.
currently is a choice you've made.
Absolutely. And you have lived to prove it. So uh, thank you so much, Venky. And
Grateful.
just to take it forward, she was not in a good place. She fought it. She is now in an amazing place, and still she is refining her own life every single day, not individually, but together. So Waycraft is always believes that life happens not in a jump, but happens in every single step. So
Mm,
I want to close this session by saying two things. One is you have already seen how fantastic Venky is. So book her for your speaking assignment. I will give the connecting details, connect details. She's I heard her keynote also, the recent keynote 2 days back, 2 days, yeah, 3 days back. She said something about the unseen corridor. Okay.
yeah.
All of us have an unseen corridor.
Yes.
Okay.
And that is my next book.
Great. So all of us have an unseen corridor. Okay. And I am here putting this podcast as a measure to see what are my unseen corridors. Okay. And Venky accepted to come here, start talking, not because we want to explore what is the next business opportunity, but we want to go inside our journey just as a checking mechanism, saying like we were there, we are here, yes, we are on the right path. So Waycraft is all about the journey, the inner journey that we took. And I want to end just like every single show. Don't worry about the destination. Don't worry about the destinations or milestones or whatever it is. Enjoy the journey. Always be happy, loving, and always have a smile in your face.
Yes.
No problem what happens. Let's take care everything together. Thank you so much, Venki. It
Thank you.
was
Thank you so
wonderful.
much. Such a wonderful conversation. I'm grateful to you for inviting me today. I am
Pleasure is
really
all ours.
grateful. Yeah, yeah. Thank you to Waycraft. Thank you to Satish.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely grateful.